What's happening inside the Brazil national team camp? Why did Carlo Ancelotti replace an injured striker with an attacking midfielder? And what's the latest update on Casemiro that could change Brazil's midfield dynamics completely? Stay tuned, because today we're diving deep into Brazil's surprising squad decisions, player injuries, and how the team is preparing for their crucial upcoming matches. So let's get started. Brazil have been hit with yet another injury blow. This time, it's Caio Jorge, the young center forward who is making his very first appearance for the Seleção. For a player, the dream of wearing the Brazil shirt for the first time is unforgettable. But unfortunately for Caio Jorge, his debut turned into a nightmare. Coming off the bench in the 71st minute, he was eager to prove himself. Yet after just 19 minutes on the pitch, disaster struck. He felt discomfort in his hamstring, and soon after the match, it was confirmed that he had suffered an injury serious enough to rule him out of the Brazil squad. A heartbreaking moment for a player who had waited so long for this chance. Now, here comes the twist. Instead of calling up another traditional center forward as his replacement, Carlo Ancelotti made a bold choice. He brought in Andreas Pereira, a pure attacking midfielder. And that's where all the discussion begins. Why replace a striker with a midfielder? Doesn't that leave Brazil short of options up front? Let's break this down. There are two main reasons behind Ancelotti's decision. First, Andreas Pereira can operate as a backup in Rafinha's position. Rafinha plays a creative role that requires someone comfortable with attacking midfield duties. Without a suitable substitute, Brazil risked losing balance in that area. Pereira, with his vision, passing range, and ability to push forward, fits perfectly as an alternative. Second, let's consider the situation in midfield. Casemiro, Brazil's experienced anchor, has been picking up yellow cards. In the previous match, he received one more, and that puts his availability for the next game in serious doubt. While it hasn't been officially confirmed whether he will miss the match, the possibility is real. If Casemiro is suspended, that leaves Brazil with a shortage in midfield depth. Now you might ask, why not simply rely on Lucas Paqueta? Well, Paqueta could indeed cover Casemiro's absence. But if Paqueta drops deeper into midfield, then who replaces him in his usual advance role? This is exactly where Andreas Pereira comes in. He provides Ancelotti with a flexible option, someone who can slot in when tactical reshuffling is needed. Let's not forget, Brazil are already dealing with other injury concerns. For example, Matheus Cunha is also out, and he could have been an option to cover Rafinha's role. João Pedro might be used in certain attacking positions, but the lack of a fully fit striker group means Ancelotti had to think differently. Instead of forcing a like-for-like replacement, he chose to strengthen the squad's overall balance by adding a versatile attacking midfielder. So, while on paper it looks odd, losing a striker but gaining a midfielder, in reality, it's a strategic adjustment. Ancelotti wants to make sure Brazil are not exposed if Casemiro is out, and he also wants a reliable backup for Rafinha's creative duties. Now, let's talk about Casemiro himself. His situation is being closely monitored. He has been the heartbeat of Brazil's midfield for years, a leader who brings experience, composure, and defensive solidity. But yellow cards are piling up, and that's a concern. If he does miss the next game, Brazil's midfield will have to reorganize. Paqueta may step deeper, but then Pereira could be called upon to fill Paqueta's regular role. This chain reaction shows exactly why Ancelotti made the call to bring Pereira instead of another striker. This is what makes international football so fascinating. It's not just about replacing players with similar ones, but about managing the squad as a whole, thinking 2 or 3 moves ahead. Now let's shift our attention from injuries and suspensions to Brazil's preparations. After their impressive 3-0 victory against Chile, the squad was given a day off. No training, just recovery. But now the serious work resumes. Tonight, at 1 a.m. Bangladesh time, Brazil will begin their training sessions again, preparing for the upcoming clash against Bolivia. And there's something special about where they are training. The team is holding sessions at Granja Comary, a training ground located in a hilly region. Why there? The answer lies in geography. Bolivia's home stadium is famously located at high altitude, far above sea level. playing football in those conditions is extremely challenging. The air is thinner, stamina drops faster, and players struggle with breathing. To prepare, Brazil have chosen to train in a similar environment, gradually adapting their bodies to those conditions. It's a smart strategy. By the time they face Bolivia, the players will be better adjusted to the altitude and will hopefully avoid being caught off guard by the difficult atmosphere. Remember, altitude has historically been a huge advantage for Bolivia at home. Many top teams have suffered there, not because of tactics, but because of the physical challenge. Brazil want to make sure that doesn't happen this time. So, let's put it all together. We've got Caio Jorge, a debutant whose dream turned into despair after just 19 minutes. We've got Andreas Pereira, unexpectedly called up as a midfielder instead of a striker, raising questions but also showing Ancelotti's tactical foresight. We've got Casemiro, whose yellow card situation could sideline him, forcing major adjustments in midfield. And finally, we've got Brazil, training in the hills to prepare for the thin air of Bolivia, a clever move that can make all the difference in their next game. Brazil's road to the 2026 World Cup is not just about talent. It's about adaptability, strategy, and dealing with surprises. Injuries, suspensions, and tough conditions are part of the journey. The real question is, will these challenges make Brazil stronger, or could they expose weaknesses when it matters most? One thing is for sure, under Carlo Ancelotti, every decision has a deeper purpose. And as fans, we'll be watching closely to see how these choices play out in the coming matches.